Doing?
I'm well.
That's good. That's good. So, as Andrew referenced earlier, since October 14th, and even before for Gel State playoffs, we had teams playing in online qualifiers, playing in tournaments to get here to this point to play in Georgia State Sports Arena. And earlier, we saw Oglethorpe take on Georgia State, and it was a rout, 27-2, extremely quick game, and now they're in the finals.
Yes, I believe it was a 12-minute game, if I'm correct. It was very fast for a traditional Smite game, but it was best of one. So we do now see Georgia State here in the finals because of that.
And so now we have a best of three going on. And in the last game, we saw Georgia State pull out some unconventional snowbally picks. We saw the Soul, the Bakasura, even the Loki come out. Do you think that they go to something more conservative now that this is the best of three finals playing for the big championship?
Yes, I would definitely expect to see something more traditional in the best of three finals here. Isolation comps are very heavy in the meta right now. You want to pick people out if they're out of position or away from their team. That's very important right now in this meta.
And so I'm expecting to see things like the Athena, things like even the Geb, Sylvanas, those pick champions, like you said, that support jungle, even in the mid lane, that as soon as you find somebody in the jungle wandering too far, pick them off, and then you go set up for objectives and snowball, because from my experience with Smite, it's a lot of getting that early gold lead snowballed, and it can be gold leads over for like 12,000 at some points, and then just rolling that to an early victory. Do you have a favorite in this match? We can't be biased, obviously. No bias here at Georgia State, but who do you favor to win coming into this matchup after seeing that last semifinal?
After seeing that last semifinals, definitely Georgia State will be a team to be reckoned with. We saw what they did there. I would like to pay attention to picks and bans here. That would be very important for this game, how both teams pick, how they ban, and how they respond to what the other teams pick.
Yeah, I'd love to see if Georgia State, like we mentioned, get conservative, play something more conformative to the meta, or if they actually continue to play these, picks that, A, aren't on my list, and B, are more carried, snowball-oriented. I mean, I'd love to see the Baron Semity come back out. I'm going to let you talk about that pick a little bit more and what it does in this meta and why is it so important to pick up.
Baron Semity is one of the best gods right now. Almost 100% pick ban rate in every game I've seen. And it's all about the Baron's Brew, I believe. It's a 150 gold consumable. It heals both your health and mana when you consume it, and your whole team can get it. And when you return to your base, it refills the potion.
So what sort of pick could we see from Oglethorpe to counter it, or do you think that they try and pick it up first and take it away from Georgia State? And if so, same question. What does Georgia State pick to counter the Baron Semity on this meta?
You definitely want to look at gods with anti-heal in their kit. Gods like Serket, Osiris, Odin with his ultimate shuts down all healing, because he just brings way too much utility as roots, stuns, a lot of healing for his team, and that's what I would look for the teams that want to counter Baron Semity or just outright ban him.
Right, because the Ring of Spears, and Odin, it's not just about the ultimate though, right? He has such good lane pressure in a solo lane. He can also be flexed to support if you want to. I love the pick when I play Smite. I play a lot of solo lane, and Odin is always my go-to. The Bird Bomb, it feels so great. If that's the pick, then what sort of composition does Oglethorpe pull out to, make sure that if they do pick the Baron Semity or whoever picks up the Baron Semity, what do they pick around him to make sure that he can still do what he wants, even into anti-healing, or is there just nothing you can really do about it?
You're definitely going to want gods with anti-heal, or with Peel, gods like Athena with her taunt, Sobek has pluck, he can get people off, gods with CC, that's really the job of the support there, to peel for Baron. But Baron can also be flex support, so you do have to be careful there.
And actually, we are into game right now. As you see, Georgia State, they picked up the Bakasura again. They also have Hachiman, Achilles, and I believe that is a Freya there. What does Fezzle have there in the jungle?
Fezzle is taking Morrigan into the support role, I believe. Morrigan is very important here. She has her ultimate Changeling, allows her to pick one god on the map and just be an exact copy of them, items, skills, level, and all.
And so for the side of for University of West Georgia, we do see actually the Daji, I believe, a Zeus. I cannot see that mid laner there.
That would be Baron Semity right there.
That is Baron Semity. And then we also see the Emir coming out. So picks unconventional alike for this meta, as we already in solo lanes. The Hachiman being taken to half health there, and it looks like West Georgia actually has a pretty good push going on.
I like to see the aggression from West Georgia. you don't have minions here, so you don't have to worry about the extra damage from the lane. Just poke out your opponents and try and get them low, make them pop those consumables, and you're already at a win advantage.
All right, in this lane, I think the lane to focus on right now is this solo lane on the left side of the map. The Bakasor versus the Emir. Who wins that matchup, why, and how will that affect the team fighting phase of this game?
Well, early on in the lane, the clearing phase, I'd expect Bakasura to go ahead. He does have Eat Minion, which just allows him to kill one minion straight out, getting him ahead. And you see here that they're just poking each other. Bakasura does have those basic attacks that will do a lot of damage. But on the other hand, Amir does have a lot of health, and he has a big stun right there, as you can see, completely shutting down anything Baka can do.
And we might get some early action. We see on the left lane that Georgia State's duo lane has actually pushed in to take the purple buff, stealing that one away, and both junglers were on that right side of the map toward those solo laners. The Achilles there running jungle now. Is Achilles jungle something that we're used to seeing, or is that a little bit unconventional?
It has been flexed before. Achilles, very hybrid damage. He can go be very much a damage dealer, very much a tank, a very brawler play style. He does have a little trouble clearing early on, but once he gets around level 3, he'll have no problem clearing the camps.
And actually, we see in the bottom lane, Baron Simony and Scotty going extremely low. We actually see the first blood picked up for the Georgia State Panthers there in the right lane. Emir is going extremely low. The Bakasura does have the blue buff as well. He will be walled off before any more damage. Will we see him dive on the tower? I believe Don Gavis is thinking about it, but I don't think he'll go for it just yet. Doesn't want to get set up underneath tower. He'll just stick with the push, stick with the tower damage, and allow his minions to do work.
Yeah, you would have to be very careful with that dive there. Bakasura can jump in, but like I said, Amir has that freeze. He would freeze him on the spot and he'd be trapped under tower.
And we already see Georgia State actually moving toward those oracles, getting ready for that gold fear as well. So a lot of good map movement. The Zeus is roaming the sun. Just check and see where they are, but Georgia State just seems to be moving at a faster tempo than West Georgia.
It is very important. Yeah, as you said, the oracles, taking those, very important. Vision is one of the biggest things in Smite. Just having an awareness of where the enemy are, what they're doing, what they can and can't do, is very important for Georgia State, and I really like that play.
Now I want to turn your attention to items as well. Let's focus sort of almost lane by lane. What items should we be seeing? Just tell the audience, what should they be looking for from all these champions as we have a short little break in the action as the dual laners are duking it out. We have a little bit of skirmishing around the map, but not too much going on.
If you look at the solo lane, you see that Bakasura has Golden Blade, and that's very important because when you hit an auto attack with Golden Blade, it extends the range, allowing you to hit things farther away. Where on the other hand, you see Amir's gone for Guardians busting him, making him a little bit more tanky, giving them those protections, and eventually that item will evolve, giving him more gold as the game goes on. And he also has tier 1 boost to give him a bit of movement speed.
And it looks like Georgia State still extending their lead again. They got another kill, and another kill as Don Gavis was able to solo kill the Emir in the right lane. Tower's almost going to go down as well, so that's not looking healthy. The Baron Simony has been stunned up. It looks like the final damages are coming through. Can Hachiman finish it off? He's not finding the auto attacks just yet. He does finally finish it, and the Morgan is going low. Scotty trying to finish it off there. 3 down across the map for West Georgia, but it looks like they cannot find anything in return as Scotty can't finish it off, just has to walk away. And Georgia State 6-0 so far, starting to run away with this game early.
Scotty was very relentless there with her dog collar, being able to chase down Fezzle, but just not enough damage to secure the kill.
So Zaya there. And if you're looking at West Georgia's composition, and especially pointing out, it seems like this dual lane is where a lot of their damage is. You do have the Baron Simony there as well, but he's also losing in the middle lane. It looks like a lot of their scaling, I want to say, just is falling slowly and slowly further behind as this game gets later. And the dual lane is where they're looking for that success, and they're not finding it there either.
You're right, the dual lane has a lot of just utility with the Baron Zombie. He's able to use his stuns, his heals, but also in the mid lane with that Zeus, just a very high burst mage.
Talking about burst, Don Gavius finding another kill. This time the jungler for West Georgia being found out by the Bakasura, and he's just having a field day in this top side of the map. We saw him play it in the last game that went 27-2, and he was a major part of that now as he has 4 kills of his own. And it looks like Emir might try and punish him. You're right. Kato will look for the kill. I don't know if it's going to go down just yet. Actually, Emir might fall instead. They're turning it around. Can Bakasura finish it off? No. Emir, he will be able to get away. Kato escaping barely with his life. It just shows you how powerful Don Gavis is in that right lane right now.
He tried. You saw Don start to back right in front of Amir. Kind of a little BM disrespect right there. And Amir said, no, I'm not going to let you back. But Dong is just so far ahead, 2 levels ahead of Amir. He just has the damage to compete.
And so now we see West Georgia. They have a little bit of a push going on in this left lane, pushing the Hachiman of Avant-Garde underneath turret and now getting a little bit of vision on their own. I believe they're taking the Oracle at this moment. Achilles is there to try and check it, but I think Zeus takes them before he can actually get there. There might be a fight going on there. We'll see if the spectator goes over there in a minute. But for right now, Georgia State across the map seems to have the push, and that was a fight that went down, and Zeogod did find the kill there. I believe that was the Freya finding the kill, finding 2 kills, the double kill there for the support of Georgia State. The Bakasur finding another one. He is 5-0, and it looks like they have found Baron Semedi. Rice will pick up that kill. He doesn't even have to use the execute to finish off the damage.
No, Georgia State's so far ahead right now in gold and experience. I'd like to see them try and take an objective like Gold Fury right now because they have that lead. They have just killed players. They're respawning now, but you know where they are on the map.
Right, and it feels like they can just take anything at their own will. They're just sort of, you know, having a field day. You saw the Zeus ultimate, I believe, just came down right there. Dongavis finding another kill despite that Achilles taking the speed buff. Georgia State, they have full tempo advantage, and I know you said you want them to take the Gold Fury, but it seems like they can take all the time in the world they want to. They have such a big lead.
Very important thing about that fight that you just saw was the regurgitate, Bakasur's ultimate. As he eats minions, he stores them, and he activates his ultimate to regurgitate them to fight on his side. So there they were able to tank the tower traps, take the damage while Dongavis was going.
And the Hachiman takes the ride and finds the kill underneath turret. Avant-Garde. At this point, it's 13-0. We're only 7 minutes into game right now. Georgia State just insurmountable. They're even taking the Gold Fury, so that's going to expand even more. What can West Georgia do to try and bring this one back at this point?
They're going to have to play very careful as we do see Rice fall to the faux hawk in mid. Dongavis is going to get a respawn kill.
Unstoppable. And they're finding Baron Semedi too. It looks like they will try and go through and follow it up. The Freya does find 1 kill. Will they find a second one? Hachiman is there. They do have an extremely low Fezzle, and he will actually fall to the Zeus there. But Freya will trade that kill, and overall it's a 3-for-1 going over to Georgia State. Actually make that 4. I think actually West Georgia got that kill right there, but while they're trying to recoup kills and trade out, Bakasur again is still pushing towers on his own. He's a monster in the side lane. There's no one that can challenge.
And another kill for Freya. Freya is such a high burst mage, popping up her pulse and a radiant combo, able to hit very hard with those auto attacks. And when their enemies trying to run, she has Valkyrie's discretion. She can hop up in the air, shoot them from very far away, and confirm the kills.
And I guess the question is, will we ever see a big team? As again, it looks like Emir has found out Dongavis, but it doesn't even matter. He's so huge right now, 9-0. He finds taking a soul lane, and the Emir just isn't even tanky enough to even stop him.
There's really not much West Georgia to do here. If you look at the levels, you see Daj G is level 4 for West Georgia. She doesn't even have her ultimate available yet.
Just looking at the item spread across the team, Georgia State at the very least have 1 item up on everyone. It looks like they will actually find Dongavis finally and give that shutdown kill over to the Zeus for West Georgia. But looking back at the items, at most there's a few members on the side of West Georgia that are even in items, but mostly Georgia State has a 1 or 2 item lead over West Georgia.
It's very interesting to see that because the gold difference is right around that 5,000 mark for Georgia State ahead, and they are keeping up items, but as I said earlier, the Dodgy, she only has her Assassin's Blessing and a tier 2 charged Morningstar, which is nowhere near what Rice is. He already has full boots, and he's building probably into Jotun's Wrath or probably Beat Stick for a little bit of anti-heal on that Baron too.
And he's so far ahead of the enemy jungler that he's taking 1v1s as if he's a solo laner, as Avant-Garde finds another kill, this time underneath turret again in the left lane. He doesn't even need his support anymore. It looks like Baron Semedi would try and make something up for it. He does land the gaze there on top of the Hachiman, but Avant-Garde just ignoring it, doesn't even care. Rice has taken Emir low underturret again. Kato and Zaya in this jungle and solo lane spot, they're just not having a good time at all.
No, it's very hard. Just Rice, you see him on the Achilles here, all the way in the enemy jungle, just invading, stripping away that golden experience from the enemy team, not letting them get that, not letting them catch up, which is what the enemy needs to do. They need to play safe, play defensively, and catch up.
And Daji will fall to Rice as well. This is looking like a rinse and repeat of the game we just saw between Oglethorpe and Georgia State, where it's 23-6. The goal lead is huge. It's astronomical at this point, and Georgia State running away with it. We're at 10 minutes. We might see the game end before the 15-minute mark as Hachiman, Avant-Garde, once again pushing underneath this turret, taking on this Scotty all on his lonesome. He doesn't even care anymore at this point because he knows he can 1v1. Even if he's half health, he should be able to still take that one. And in the mid lane, the Freya is wailing away at this turret as well. So Georgia State doing good objective control, not getting too reckless as they make these plays around the map, and not saying respecting their opponent, but, you know, not just getting overly confident and greedy.
No, you have to be careful of your positioning because they do still have a lot of damage. If you're caught out into 4, 5, 3 players, you know, your life could be over.
Yeah, and the Consigned Spirits actually did hit him there. That wasn't, he didn't miss, he just didn't do any damage.
Exactly.
So that's how far behind this Baron Simity is in the mid lane as well for West Georgia. As right now, it's sort of no real action going on, no more solo kills. Georgia State, they pushed up the mid lane to the side lane. It looks like they're collapsing on top of Amir. Hachiman is getting assistance and summarily the kill there from the side lane. Rice finds a kill as well in the mid lane. It looks like they're going to dive even further. I believe that's Bakasura in the back, Avant-Garde again. He does get stunned up, but it should find the fatal strike is there. Will it land? I believe it did, but it didn't do the execute damage. Either way, the kill goes through, the tower goes down. Georgia State still on a rampage here as we enter the 11-minute mark, 26-6.
He did hit the fatal strike there, but you saw Baron Samedi heal above the execute threshold. It's only under a certain percentage of health that you are able to execute your opponent.
Right, 30% there. So he stalled out long enough, but it didn't even matter as you see Avant-Garde take another turret, goal lead expands. The Fire Giant, I believe, has spawned. When you see Georgia State moving toward the objective, or do they even have to move toward it at all?
They don't really need the Fire Giant to end right here because they're so far ahead, but it would just be more of an insurance policy in case they do lose a fight. West Georgia could come in and take that, and you would see a major turn in the game. As
we see West Georgia trying their best right now. They're sending 3 people toward that left side of the map. Amir again being pushed in by Bakasura. Baron Samedi, it looks like they're just having a group as 4 and run around the map because they're so afraid of being caught out and just being blasted by one of the solo laners, the marksman from Georgia State. I mean, there's not a lot of people they can fight, so they're rolling around as a group of 4 while they're leaving poor Kato here in this side lane to try and 1v1. They've left him there all game. It just hasn't succeeded. Do you see them changing that in the next game? Just maybe giving him a little bit more help, or you just continue to leave him alone?
That is important. You do want to make sure your jungler is ganking his kills just going on the board for Georgia State.
And that's 3 going down for West Georgia. Georgia State about to start pushing for this mid-Phoenix here. And with only Kato and Zaya up, and both of them far below their counterparts in levels, experience, and gold items as well. Another kill goes through there for Rice. I believe that was the fatal strike. Execute damage coming through. I mean, all they can do is sit there. And it looks like Georgia State might go ahead and just push for the base in the game.
Right in the game. There is a tier 2 tower up in left lane, and the Titan that you need to kill to win the game does get weaker the less towers and Phoenix are on the map. So they might want to fall back and take it, but they're just so far ahead, I don't really think it matters.
Yeah, the question is, do they even care as the Titan has fallen under attack? He has been procced now. That Titan can hurt pretty early. I know that for sure. So Georgia State, I like this play, still playing rather conservatively, although they've gotten this huge lead. They push the base. They're not going to try and end it, give over shutdown kills and gold, and open up that Fire Giant.
Yeah, you see a 15,000 gold lead for Georgia State. They're being very smart. They're going to back off, spend that gold, get even stronger, and group up and try to push to end.
And just talking about even stronger, Don Gavis sitting at 4 items, 11, 1, and 2. This is a scary Bakasura in the side lane.
You see he has 3 different blades. His auto attacks are going to be hitting for a lot of damage.
I mean, good lord, the Freya destroying this marksman here. This is a support Freya. And I know in Smite it's different than other games where the supports can do damage, but that's still just, it's humbling.
You see that red ring around Freya? That's the damage buff right there, just boosting the damage Freya can do while she is wearing it. So just Freya, a very high burst damage mage, able to use Pulse Radiate.
And I mean, there's the blue buff sitting on top of Don Gavius. Avant-Garde has, it looks like they stole West Georgia's red buff himself. Yes. They have double red buff, speed buff, and blue buff here. Fire Giant up. They actually started the Fire Giant right now. And I mean, West Georgia hanging in their base. And if you're West Georgia here, do you start looking toward the next game and just sort of like wash this one from your memory? Finish it out. Don't surrender because you never want to surrender a match. But you just let this one play out and then start thinking toward what you can do to fix the next one.
Definitely, they got to be talking in comments about what went well, what went wrong. And I think they really lost this game in the solo lane with Dongavius.
Yeah, as he killing spree again as he takes another life. This time it's the Emir again. And I think that's another point West Georgia has to look at is, do they give Kato something that he should be able to contest this lane against Bakasura with better? Or did they give him that pick and he just sort of didn't play the 1v1 well enough?
I don't think Bakasura, Emir is not the best choice to play into a Bakasura, I would say.
So it sounds like West Georgia might have just gotten caught off guard by the fact that, you know, we were talking before the game started that maybe Georgia State moves toward a composition that is more conservative, more aligned with the meta, and they didn't do that. They said, Dongavius, you went off the previous game with Boxer, we're going to let you do it again. We see some action in the solo lane. Hachiman being taken low, but he goes and rides out. Looks like he should be able to find a kill on the sky, but he's being minion blocked right here. They could try and find the kill. The Baron 70 life for the party comes through, and they do find one finally. It's still 32-8, but that still has to feel good that they took down somebody. They still lost one more on the other side. They actually got 2 members of Georgia State there. So fighting back a little bit, just keeping up that fighting spirit.
You saw West Georgia there. They said, Avant, we see you in left lane. You're not going to push us by yourself. We're going to come and deal with you.
And deal with him they did. Georgia State, though, still having the push. But, I mean, it feels like it's still a little bit too late to try and think of a comeback. I mean, you don't ever want to say never. But 32-8, the goal lead is about 20,000 in Georgia State's favor. But like we said, it feels good as Rice gets another kill there. This time onto the, I believe, Scotty, I believe Yogi?
That was Daji.
Yeah, Daji. Yogi, the jungler Daji, getting one more kill. Looks like they found the marksman there for the side of West Georgia as well.
And
so
that's just a testament how much damage Freya you could do. You saw Scotty, and then 1 second later, she's gone.
And Achilles, he's half health, but he's still going at it. He still does have the fail to strike resets there as well. So West Georgia has to be careful. This might end here. The Titan is procced and under attack from the minions coming in from the middle lane. Georgia State, they could look to end it right here. Hachiman taking buffs and camps. You see Bakasura as well doing the same. Actually, Freya goes up with the Valkyrie's discretion, just trying to stay alive as he might push a little bit longer. Zeus does call through the ultimate, but not, oh my God!
Deleted!
Just gone, obliterated. As it looks like Freya will go in for some more. She has knocked up Zeus alone, but we all know this Freya, when she gets big, can take so much damage. The life party does come through. It looks like they might finally find the kill. It does go over to Emir, not the person at this stage of the game you want to go to. So it looked like Zugod just overstaying a little bit while his team was taking buffs, but even in a 4v3 situation, Georgia State can take it as he did take down 2 with him to the grave.
He was very overconfident there. He knows he can do a lot of damage, but even into 5 members, there's so much more that they can do.
And it looks like Boxer will going for, again, for the Scotty. He does have to pop the Aegis, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if you're invulnerable. He said, I will find you and I will hunt you down. The Daji does use the Pow Lao, but it's a little bit too late for that here. Friend has run back to base. It looks like Dongavius will go low. The Morgan will be able to take down this mid Phoenix. It looks like they're going to try and fight here. West Georgia, the ultimate from Juice does come through on top of the Phoenix, but it doesn't even matter as Morgan just walks away from it. Fezzle there does find the kill, and it looks like it's a 2v4 for the side of West Georgia to try and fight against.
Very difficult. 3 members alive for West Georgia. We do see Scotty about to spawn here in 2 seconds. They need to play very safe, conservative. Try and find picks when people like Zulagad are standing out, fighting 5 of your members.
And as I believe there's still 2 buffs from the Fire Giant on Georgia State, so they still have a little bit of pushing power here, but for the moment, West Georgia has kicked them out of their base. They said, get out of my home. This is not your place. You don't pay rent. You're not on the lease, so please leave. And Georgia State trying to be like, hey, man, it doesn't matter. We're your landlord, so
exactly.
You're going to let us back in. If you want to use your toilet, we will use it if we want to. And they're going to be pushing in for that, the side Phoenix, the last one on the right side of the map, and we'll see if they soon end the game afterwards.
Every time you kill a Phoenix, you do have fire minions. They're stronger than the regular minions. They'll be able to push away by themselves, and they're very deadly to the Titan. I've seen games lose where there's no player in the base. It's just the minions.
And now we see, it looks like they're doing exactly what I said. They're pushing the minions through the mid lane between Avant-Garde and Rice, pushing them in, setting up not only to retake that mid Phoenix, but setting up the push so they can go rotate over to this other Phoenix.
That's the game.
I mean, it should be. It looks like it will be. You know, League of Legends the same way. If you get a freeze, it chooses the game. Is that correct?
Yes, so that would be the game ending, and we're going to assume that GSU won.
Yeah, I mean, that's a safe bet. It's a safe bet GSU took that one home there. And We're going to ask you really quickly as we transition to the break, who are you going to give this MVP to for this game?
It has to go to Dong Avius. There's no other player it could be. MVP for sure. You saw him get those solo kills in lane against Amir, and he just propelled his team ahead.
And it seemed like he had snowballed the game and almost, I don't want to say won it, but he got it pretty close there early on from the lane phase before they could even get to team fight, just getting that lead, rotating it through lanes, and opening up the map for his team to work without having to worry about Amir or even the Daji rotating around, because they had to take so much pressure up to his lane.
And being able to take that tier 1 tower early just opens up the map. You don't have to worry about that tower there just constantly hammering you down. You have the freedom to move around.
So looking toward this next game, what draft do you want to see from West Georgia to combat this style from Georgia State?
Well, I would say they have to ban the Bakasura. It just did too much in that game. And I don't know. I mean, Baron Samdi did do work with Life of the Party, able to stun, apply Hysteria, heal up his team. But I'd like to look and see what Kato pulls. I don't think the Amir worked that well.
Yeah, do you maybe see something like, and mind you, I'm just spitballing names here, maybe a Pele out there, or Guan Yu, a Cook Cullen, something to deal with this Bakasura? What would you normally see played into this champion to sort of shut it down?
I'd like to see Bologna here. She does have a disarm in her kit, allowing him, so when you disarm someone, they can't use their auto attacks, and that's where Bakasura's damage mostly comes from, his in hands. He's able to hit you, and you see the health bar just going away chunk by chunk. So that disarm from Bologna, very important.
And what do you want to see Georgia State do to continue this? Do you just keep asking them to pick out-of-the-box champions that will get them these leads, or do you want to see anything different, just more of the same?
I mean, realistically, they just need to pick what they're comfortable on. It's found like even if it's not the most meta pick, as long as you're comfortable on it, you know, you understand the god well, you can play it very well, you'll probably see success with it.
All right, well, we're going to go to a short break as we wait for the teams to get loaded up into the next game. It's still PantherLAN. Georgia State up 1-0 over West Georgia. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Oh, I think I have a walkie-talkie, but they gotta talk in the walkie-talkie because otherwise I don't know what's going on. Wait, nope, my mic is still up. Yep. Oh, I turned it off. Oops. So oh, well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Sorry to see that. A little bit of a walkie-talkie issue. But we're here, getting ready for Game 2, Georgia State, West Georgia, Smite Gel Finals. First match, a little bit of a stomp, but let's hope that West Georgia can make this game, because I want to see Georgia State challenged here. I believe they came into this tournament as the favorite, #1 seed. I want to see a little bit of some gumption from the boys from West Georgia.
I definitely do want to see that as well. I think that they really did lose that game in picks and bans, so I would like to see them come out with stronger picks and bans going into Game 2 here.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see until they, hit the map and get ready to play. But I like what you were saying before I went to break. Pick something like the Bologna. It might not be in the meta like now, but it doesn't matter at this point. You're playing for your tournament life. Just pick something that's comfort, that can shut down Bakasura, and then maybe send your jungler more to that solo lane to give Kato some help so he doesn't get bullied out by Dongavius.
Yes. I mean, we did see Daji very far behind that whole game. There was about a good 8-minute stretch where she was level 4 and didn't have access to her ultimate ability, which is just devastating in a team fight. You don't really have a lot to provide without your ultimate.
And I feel like we gave a lot of props to Dongavius, but some of that was the work from Rice. He did get a solo kill early in the jungle, not only on Zeus, but he got another one on top of the Daji. I feel like we got to give him some credit too, because he did shut down the Daji effectively, who can, during team fights, especially finding picks with the Pow Lao, can be extremely powerful.
Able to just burn beads so you can hit your other CC abilities like a mere freeze, which allows you to set up into even more damage, especially from Zeus. The comp wasn't horrible from West Georgia. I just don't think they were expecting Bakasura.
Yeah, they weren't expecting Dongavius to go ham up in that top lane.
I would also like to see Freya banned out this game. We did see Zuogod just deleting players off of Freya.
Oh yeah, he was influential in the laning phase, in the duo lane, getting them one of their first kills. Influential later, and Freya is so frustrating and annoying because she's that champion that does massive damage, but you can't kill her. You know, she's like that pseudo tank bruiser that is impossible to kill, but she'll still delete you in half a second, and we saw that during that game.
Now, I would think early on Freya's weak because she doesn't have access to both of her steroids, so I'd very much like to see just pressure mid lane if Andrew's going to play that Freya again.
Right, and maybe some pressure to that dude, because we even saw, like, even when they weren't getting a solo kill, they went and stole West Georgia's purple buff, which I know some teams willingly give up. It's almost like a trade, but you just show that the Daji, just no real map pressure around the map. It just felt like Rice could do whatever he wanted to. The solo lanes were left on their lonesome, and it was just hard for anyone on West Georgia to operate without feeling like they had to look over their shoulder for Rice to come popping out of nowhere and make it a 2v2 into a 3v2, a 1v1 into a 2v1, and vice versa.
Very important of the jungler to just be able to control the map, gank lanes, and give whoever lane they gank just a slight advantage.
Yeah. And another thing that we didn't see a lot of outside of the Oracle is vision, or at least I didn't see it. I don't know if you noticed while we were watching the game on the match, but I didn't see a lot of vision from either team, but when you're West Georgia, vision is a little bit more important to you when you're down that far.
Definitely. I did see a couple wards. I saw one ward placed very deep into the jungle by Dong, maybe for a teleport, because you are allowed, once you upgrade your teleport relic, you can teleport to the ward, so you might want to do a cheeky play like that, teleport into the enemy base or something like that. And I saw a few out of Fezl on support, just granting his team that vision, but you're right. West Georgia really needs to step up their vision if they want a chance.
And I want to ask you, what have you seen thus far in this tournament? Besides Dongavius on the boxer, what have you seen thus far in these games that has impressed you the most from Georgia State?
From Georgia State, I want to say just Fezl on support. He's able to control that lane almost by himself and give Avant-Garde just free roam to do whatever he wants, deal his damage, get his farm, and get ready.
Yeah, because at one point, he got Avant-Garde so far ahead that the Hachiman was just, along with the Scotty, just solo killing a tower, solo killing a tower, pushing you in, riding out, doing what I want to, not afraid. I believe that Daji even tried to come to lane one time, and he just escaped again. And my next question, though, is do you think that Georgia State has to be careful of hubris? Because when you sometimes get those big wins, the next game you play a little bit lax, you think you can do what you want, and you end up giving up big leads and things of that nature, and then you're like, oh, wow, now we're the ones on the back foot. Do you think Georgia State not only needs to be careful for it, but needs to be thinking heavily on it, or do you think that they're a polished enough team to where it's sort of like an afterthought because they should know to do that anyways?
I would definitely think they need to be conscious of it. You do need to be careful. You don't want to be picking very outlandish comps because they can get countered. If you want to stick to something more conservative, more quote-unquote normal in the meta, because they're proven to work.
So, entering pick and bans, I believe I can hear the teams talking it over behind us. I want to remind everybody, this is a best of 3, so if West Georgia can win this one, they will take us to a final Game 3 for the championship. Now, let's just talk a little bit of shop here. You know, we're bros, sitting here talking. Say that West Georgia takes it to a Game 3. What do you expect to see then? Do you think it's mad chaos? Do you think Georgia State goes more conservative? Everyone just picks out whatever they want? What do you expect?
If West Georgia pushes it to a Game 3, I would expect Georgia State to play their their meta comp, their normal comp, no messing around because it's, Game 3, it's on the line at this point. It's do or die. And I'd like to see maybe try something a little outlandish from West Georgia, see if it works. If you like, not all the way, maybe one pick, a little outlandish, a little risky, high risk, high reward right now because they're playing for their life.
Right. So basically almost role reversal, where instead of it's West Georgia picking meta and Georgia State going crazy, you want to see the opposite flip. Or you expect to see the opposite where Georgia State gets conservative
Yes.
because they know they can win on conservative things, and then West Georgia pulls out something crazy like a Bologna, maybe a Knox, as we saw Oglethorpe actually pull that out, a Soul, something that you just wouldn't expect come up in the game to sort of turn the tides of battle.
And something that can really carry, has very high carry potential, what we call hyper carries, able to, kind of like Freya and Bakasura, you saw that they were able to deal so much damage by themselves, they don't really need their team there.
Right. So, talking shop, still, chilling out, waiting for the games to start. I want to ask you, first of all, let the audience know, and depending on your answer, you might get hard flame. People might say, that's reasonable. What is your favorite Smite champion to play?
My Thanatos for sure. Greek god of death.
Well, I think that speaks a lot on your character. I'm a little bit afraid.
I don't know.
I'm a little scared now. I don't know what to.
Guys, it is October.
Listen,
Halloween's coming right around the corner.
If I disappear off stream and go away, just know what happened. All right, know I got full Michael'd because this guy likes to play Thanatos, the god of death.
He has a 40% execute. If you're below 40% health, he can just kill you outright.
I've witnessed it. I've actually been a victim of it.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Not at all. Oh, as we actually are in game, thank you for bringing it up, as we see Georgia State and University of West Georgia roll out for Game 2. Looking at Georgia State's composition there.
Boy.
You want to read down the lineups this time?
So we see in the middle, and we see a guy with the Anubis, as he's called, very high burst damage, but he doesn't have a lot of mobility, so we will have to be careful. He can't get caught out. Avant-Garde on the AMC, another high damage ADC, got a bees, but also no mobility. And taking it into the solo lane, we see Dongavius on Thanatos.
Yeah, and you keep saying mobility. Now, am I incorrect in saying Fezzle is the one on the Baron Simity this time?
Yes, that would be correct.
So it seems like besides the Daji and Thanatos, it's a lot of immobility from the side of Georgia State, which can sometimes play against you.
Right, and if you look at West Georgia's comp, they have Athena who can taunt, Ares with no escape, he can just pull everyone in. Without these mobilities, you're going to get attacked hard by these Guardians.
Yeah, and then they even have the Neath, which is something I didn't expect to see. And is that a Scylla?
That is a Scylla. I would very much like to see Scylla pop off in the mid lane. Her ultimate, I'm a Monster, just does a lot of damage. And if you kill with it, it resets, allowing you to use it again. So you have the ability to use one move and get a pentakill.
And we'll see if Fohawk can get toward that. As we actually see a little bit of cheekiness. He does actually proc the wave early. We see Dongavius in the lane alone. Well, not alone by himself. The Ares is slowly catching up, so it's an Ares solo lane. So what I'm getting here from West Georgia is a lot of wombo combo. Yogi going in, stealing people's, buffs away, and then everyone just piling on to whoever Athena and Ares taunt and pull in and just dumping out all your damage.
I'd like to see Yogi actually initiate here. Nemesis has the ability to steal protections away. So not only is she gaining the protections and becoming more tanky herself, but she's removing them from the targets.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the ultimate name is Final Judgment.
Correct, yes.
Let's go. The list works. I studied. We're in school. Actually, wait, hold on. Rice just destroys Fohawk there. The Scylla already falling there in the jungle, trying to get early vision, and he just met 3 members of Georgia State head on, and now that'll allow Rice to not only steal these Harpies, I believe he is the one that picked up that kill as well. The solo lane, once again, Dongavius is pushing. However, it is Yogi there waiting on the flanks with Kato, waiting to try and go on a Thanatos. It looks like Dongavius is half health, but Yogi will just walk away, the Nemesis not choosing to try and aid because he has to go and try and help this Scylla push out lane as he rotates around the map.
Very interesting that he doesn't choose to elect there, probably because Thanatos, one of his passives that he uses health in addition to mana to cast all his abilities. But his first ability, Death Scythe, heals him for a percent based on how much damage it deals, and that hits very hard.
As we see Zeus God here rotating finally back into lane. Georgia State, again, a nice early lead here coming into the game. Already at about 1,000. 2 minutes in. I mean, Georgia State, they just seem like this super hyper-aggressive team that just loves to try and get in your face early, find someone, pick them off, and get this lead. As Avant-Garde, the Muzen Cobb finding a kill here in the duo lane. Rice following up with another kill, this time onto Yogi. Georgia State just picking up right where they left off.
And you see Rice get that kill, and he's going straight to invade the speed buff. Strip away golden experience and put West Georgia even farther behind.
And I feel like a champion like, or a god like Nemesis actually relies, I mean, speed buff is nice to have, obviously, but Nemesis likes to get around the map, that super assassin type jungler, just that speed buff, extremely important.
Yeah, you do want the mobility on the jungler, being able to go from lane to lane through the jungle, gank what lanes you want. You can be here 1 second, and then the other second you're across the map.
Now, the one thing I do see from Georgia State that is a little bit absent is the absence of tanks, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, they don't really have a lot of tanky targets, so I'd expect to see Dongavius go kind of a bruisery build a little bit more defensive items, so just so they have a little bit of front line.
So what I'm thinking is maybe actually see in the bottom lane, or the side lane, I'm sorry, Athena goes in for the taunt. I believe she found it, so they do have the push. They have forced West Georgia's lane out, as actually the Neath finds a kill on the back end for West Georgia, so returning one kill there in that solo lane, trying to get things started here for West Georgia. They found a kill.
He's out of mana. He can't use any abilities if they decide to aggress.
And they do aggress. They find the taunt. They find the kill. So this Athena-Neath combo making things look hopeful here for West Georgia here in this right lane, in the dual lane. So finally they win a dual lane, but looks like Rice here trying to find a kill. The back foot will come in from Zay. He will be able to escape, but the blink comes through. Daji is there. Can he find a kill? He does find the final blow, and that's a kill streak for Rice. All the kills from Georgia State, excluding one here onto their jungler.
And you saw Daji very mobile. He used blink, but Daji also can just teleport to enemies and just able to stick to you and deal that damage.
And now, Georgia State, while I did lose a little bit of the push in that side lane for the moment, the right lane, the Daji coming through seems to have, I want to say, even out at least the push for the lane. We'll have to see when items are bought, when gold is all said and done, but the push is back in Georgia State's favor where it's even. Once again, though, Dongavius is bullying, he's bullying out Kato here in the side lane.
And Ares can do a lot of damage to those chains, but it's a very hard ability to hit. So Dongavius needs to be very aware of his movement and try not to be too predictable with the chain, so he can't, so Kato can't predict where Dong is going to be and hit him.
And it looks like Zeusgod has been pinged out on the map by West Georgia. Fohawk seems to be waiting to try and land something. He does land a bit of damage there as Zeusgod returns to lane. He actually does land a stun as well, the root there. Avant-Garde getting a kill there in the side lane again, Georgia State. I mean, it just seems like they're this unrelenting force that it doesn't matter if they go down, they're going to still keep coming at you. They don't back off even though they die. Yeah,
it's very, you see the invade here of the red buff, again, just playing their style that they're very used to. Get ahead, strip away experience, and run with the game.
And it seems like it is just this, it's a team effort to shut down Yogi on the side of West Georgia. It's not just Rice getting solo kills. It's not just Dongavius finding him. It's the entire team stealing buffs, getting vision, finding kills that put him down 4 levels in the previous game, and it might do the same thing this game as trying to find, he is again down 4 levels here, I believe, to his opposite jungler.
He is, yes, he's actually only down 3 levels.
3 levels.
Sorry, yeah. But I can say from experience, there's nothing more frustrating as a jungler than going to take a camp and it's not there because you just can't really do much.
And there goes Fezzo finding the final blow in the mid lane onto the Scylla. So they're going to go ahead and push down this turret. You saw on the back end of that, Zeusgod throwing out the Anubis ultimate to try and lay down the damage. And the Baron Semity able to follow it up with the Vivid Gaze. The Consigned Spirits does land on the back end as well. Avant-Garde finding another kill in this side lane. This Muzen Cobb just wrecking them right now in the 2v2.
That is the thing. He doesn't have a lot of mobility, but to make up, he has a ton of damage just so that he can fight you in these 1v1 scenarios. And ultimate coming out of Dawn here.
Oh no, the Thanatos ultimate. He's looking for the execute. He finds the execute underneath tower. He'll be able to walk away with taking a couple tower shots, but no worse the wear here. So it just seems deja vu, rinse and repeat here for Georgia State as, again, the 2v2's winning. They're able to leave Avant-Garde in the solo lane by himself. Daji trying to find a kill. Rice there, close, but just being able to push him out of the jungle. But again, the mid lane holding his own, and then the solo lane, Dongavius doing work. And it looks like things might end the same way they did in Game 1 for Georgia
And that
State.
speed buff is so far back in the map for West Georgia. It's right near their Phoenix. That just shows how far ahead Georgia State is. They can push almost all the way up to the enemy base, ignoring the towers.
And so Fezzer, he does pop the life of the party. He does pull in Kato down. It looks like they might be able to actually find the kill on the back end. The Athena being able to find it. That sneaky damage that she can do. The root does not land on the back end from the Scylla. But West Georgia able to respond finally on the map, finding one kill.
And that's what Scylla does. She pops I'm a monster, and she just hits you for a ton of damage.
So Avant-Garde pushing this side lane once again. Left lane alone. He has Neath pushed underneath tower. Hopefully someone will be able to look at the item lead and see where Georgia State stands in their builds and how far they are toward their power spikes. As Avant-Garde taking a little bit of damage, he does get hit by, oh my God, Zaya!
World
a little
Weaver.
bit of greed there from the marksman of Georgia State, and the World Weaver does mark his end.
You see that global ultimate from Neath. She's able to select anyone on the map, shoot them with a big arrow, and stun them, and then follow it up with her other abilities just to confirm damage.
So at least this game, West Georgia is fighting back. They seem to be responding to every single aggression that Georgia State throws at them. The question is, will it be enough, as the goal lead is still about 5.4K here in Georgia State's favor. They're still invading, taking experience camps and buffs, and again, doing what they do. But now that West Georgia is keeping up pace, where do you find them possibly taking an advantage in this match?
I would say later in the game, because they have gods like Nemesis and Scylla who do very well in the late game, because you're able to steal more protections, you're able to do more damage, you can just see them do better as the game goes longer.
I mean, we say this, but another 2 kills go over to Georgia State, to the Thanatos and the Anubis respectively. So it feels like every single time we give West Georgia a bucket of milk, they just kick it over with no regard for anyone else's feelings.
It's really hard just because you see the level disparity here. You know, 3 levels down in mid, your support's only a level behind, but your solo laner's also 3 levels down.
And Rice finding another kill, this time finding Fohawk there. I don't know if he found a solo kill. Actually found a double kill there. I believe that was actually through the mid lane. Georgia State pushing that S3. Anubis taking another buff. It looks like Gold Fury is there. Oh God, Yogi, you've been found by Don Gavis. You can't escape. He should be able to find this kill easily. Doesn't even have to use the ultimate. A killing spree for the Thanatos. And he'll now move over toward what I believe is that right lane and start working toward that other turret as they're going to push in the minions.
You see Yogi there try to take the back camp because they're just so far behind. You need the experience and the gold, but Georgia State has such control of the map that you can't.
I mean, just looking at these leads, between mid lane, it's a 4-level disadvantage for West Georgia, 3-level disadvantage as the ultimate does actually come through from the Ares. Avant-Garde finds another kill. Looks like they will try and find Rice, and they will find him with the Athena taunt. So that's, again, answering back for a little bit of overgreed, but oh my God, that Anubis ultimate just, good God, man, just utterly wrecked there. And they find one more kill. The Thanatos is in the right lane, still sticking around. He will be found by Fohawk and stunned up. Will he use the I'm a Monster? The taunt comes through. He will use the Thanatos ultimate to try and escape. Where will he go? Where will he land? So looks like he has to go back in. Will he find a kill at least for his troubles? Kato is extremely low, but the World Weaver does stun him. It looks like he should fall soon. Scylla will find that kill. Fohawk finding one on the board for himself. He finally finds a kill, 1-3-1, but maybe that might get this Scylla going.
Very good awareness from Zaya there to see that Dong went back in and use the World Weevil to just shoot him from on the other side of the map.
And now Avant-Garde, we're seeing him push in a solo lane as well. And it looks like, West Georgia just has to play it patiently. Just, slowly get these kills where you can, find picks, give up things where you have to. Because for Georgia State, it doesn't matter how many kills you get at the end of the day if you can't break that Titan.
I would like to see more here from Nemesis and Yogi in general, because you saw 2 members fall in the right lane, and Avant-Garde is alone in the left lane. Go punish that. You send 2 members over in the left lane and take them out with the members advantage.
We'll see if they try and do that. Right now, it's been Georgia State really playing the numbers advantage card. I mean, West Georgia's found it, but mainly when Georgia State overreads, as it looks like Georgia State, once again, the Anubis walking, and he does actually blink, and he finds Fohawk, and he will just obliterate him. He does use that gaze, finds the kill. It looks like there will be a bigger fight, though, as Georgia State, they still find Zaya on the backside, so Zaya trying to walk in and make something happen, but the Neath dying instead for his troubles. Now Georgia State will walk toward the Gold Fury.
I don't know what Frohawk was doing in the beginning of the fight. He popped I'm a Monster just to put it on cooldown, it seemed, and then he canceled it almost immediately, not even using the damage.
Is it one of those ultimates that gives you an immunity maybe, or a CC immunity?
It does give you some CC immunity and some movement speed, so you can use it to escape, but the execute.
Oh my God, here we go. You can't escape. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't escape me. I'm the Dongavius, man. He finds the kill there on to Yogi. Once more, the Gold Fury, another kill. He'll just go back to the side lane, push for this turret, and continue to harass Kato, who this entire series has had just a really, really bad time as the rest of Georgia State will push the mid lane.
This is true. You see them group up here, but Scylla has a lot of area damage, so they might just have to back off.
Yeah, they will back away. And again, we see Georgia State respecting West Georgia a little bit, you know, going back knowing, hey, we have enough gold, buy items, don't overread, don't give any more shutdown kills over to, especially this Scylla. We'll just recall, reset lanes, and then go back at it again.
I would like to note that if you look at the ultimates here, you have 3 to 3 ultimates on each side, but I'd have to give it to West Georgia. They just have the better ultimates for the team fight.
Yeah, it just feels like if Dawn can find the right defender of Olympus into the taunt, they can find the right combination, they can turn any team fight because they have so much damage and so much pick potential. They just got to find it. As another blink comes through, it looks like Avant-Garde has found Zaya and he will find a solo kill. Will they be able to return it? I don't think so. Yogi tries to find a kill of his own, but it looks like the Anubis might find one. And the execute comes through underneath turret and ends his days. As Avant-Garde, I believe, no, not Avant-Garde, my bad. It's Dongavis finding one more kill there, 20-6, Georgia State.
Dong has just been utterly insane on the Thanatos. He's been everywhere on the map. Those executes coming in clutch to just pick off targets that, you know, are below that 40% threshold.
And the global threat of this is why it just seems like this is the perfect composition for Georgia State, the way they play to get ahead and stay ahead. And there's nowhere you can run from Thanatos. He does so much damage, he can always just end it. The only thing that I would think that might make this better is if you had an Achilles, but I feel like West Georgia probably banned that out after the first game.
Most likely, seeing what Rice did on the Achilles. And that Achilles could also have been flex. I've known Dong has liked to play Achilles before, so that could have been a flex either way.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia State, they're flexing things all over the map right now. It looks like it will be Neath and Scylla trying to stop this mid lane push. It will be Fezzle taking a little bit of damage on this Baron Semi, but they're going to continue to push. And it looks like Anubis and Baron Semi have so much push power, but it looks like Avant-Garde coming in from the back, and he will find the kill there. He has a killing spree, 3 times the kills. The life of the party is pulling them in. They will find Yogi. He'll go down. Thanatos finds one in the backside. The Consigned Spirit's also doing a little bit of work there. Georgia State, the Pow Lao, he lands one chain. They pull him in, and it will be a full team wipe deicide for Georgia State University.
If I'm Georgia State, I'm taking this mid Phoenix, and I'm ending the game right here.
Here they go. Mid Phoenix going down. Death timers. It looks like Yogi will be up. Yogi and Kato should be up in time. They have 3 members up, actually. But can they stop anything? It looks like the Titan is slowly going down. They will decide to back up as it looks like West Georgia will try and go for one thing. Yogi tries to dive in, but it's to no avail. They both go right back to the fountain from whence they came. It looks like Scylla is there to try and find anything. Zeus God, though, sends him back to the fountain. It's like a one-way trip back to death here as the Titan is helping out West Georgia, though. They do find one. They do find 2. It looks like they have, for now, pushed Georgia State out of the base.
Able to get that defense by using World Weaver to find on the back. Dongavius.
Yeah, Dongavius, Avant-Garde going low to Don. Zaya has found another kill, a killing spree there, but Avant-Garde will find one on the backside. So it looked like Titan helped out West Georgia a little bit there, but all in all, Georgia State still wins that one by far.
Oh, for sure. Not able to end, but you know they did lose 3 members, so it's not like they can really take an objective with the 2 members that are up because they're not super tanky. So they will need to wait for Fezzle or Dog to come back if they want to start those up.
Yeah, it's the Fire Giant's there. Gold Fury should be up in a second. Oracle is there. They could at least be taking, you know, the Pyromancer, the objectives around it to prepare them. But you're right, they have to wait for the members because they're just not tanky. But I feel like they can take this at any moment. And if West Georgia contests, it's going to be another deicide, and that's game over.
Well, looking at this build, something from Zuagod that I see him do all the time is he builds a double lifesteal on Anubis. Anubis passive already giving him more lifesteal, so he can actually tank these. I didn't see the Typhon's Fang come online yet, so he does have the lifesteal to be able to just take it up.
So, I mean, they might just go ahead and start it here. Looks like they're starting to rotate toward it. The only one missing is Baron Symmetry. Scylla is here trying to keep vision. They actually will just recall after taking Pyromancer. Thanatos will return to this right lane as well. West Georgia, looks like they're going to try and rotate that way, maybe get down some vision, push out waves, and try and get some gold to maybe buy items and fight.
It's very difficult. If you look at the lineup from West Georgia. Their highest level is 13 on that Neath there, played by Zaya. But if you look at Georgia State, their lowest level is their support 14 for Fezzle on Baron Samdi.
Yeah, that's not a good look. I mean, I don't know about that one, Chief, but it's just it's a real uphill battle here from West Georgia, and I want to see them try and come back and take it and maybe make it a little bit interesting, but it's looking further and further away from that outcome.
Yes, this is true. You see Avant just push up the lane. He's so far, he's able to clear the whole lane with one ability.
And I think that the big difference here between Georgia State and West Georgia, it continues to be as Don Gavis again finds an execute on the other side of the map somewhere. Rice finds a kill too. Looks like Georgia State found a double there toward the middle lane. And, you know, as they're going to push for this left Phoenix here on the map, they have left and right Phoenix up. So both the side lanes are up for the taking. And this entire match, it seems like it's been mainly the difference between their solo laner and their jungler.
If you look at the graphs here, it's just a one-way line, all in Georgia State's favor.
Yeah, one-way trip straight to Sucksville. I mean, not that saying that West Georgia sucks, but it just sucks to be them right now.
Also, Baron Samdi sucks. Got that life of the party.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all that. You know, all this, we're not going to say that they get on stream. We're going to leave that alone. But Fire Giant will be started up here by
It's
Georgia
just
State.
Zuo God soloing it with the life steal from Anubis. Rice is there to. Rice isn't even hitting it. They're jumping.
I mean, they're just sitting around. It's like a, you know, can you do it? I'm going to take it by myself. It's like in League of Legends when, you know, you're like, can Master Yi take it by himself? Can he do it? And Anubis is doing it right now.
He's very low. He's very low.
Well, they might let him die here. Can
No,
he do it? No,
they
he
did
got it. He got it. What a man. What a man. What a god. He's such a man, dude. Just taking it all by himself.
And all the meanwhile, Dong and Avant are just zoning out West Georgia.
I mean, Don is here to try and stop this push from Avant-Garde, but I don't think it's going to do much of anything. The Scylla did go there to join, but look how 5 members of West Georgia had to rotate down just to deal with 1 member. The powwow does land. A chain comes through. They pulled one, and he's dead. He's gone. Finito in Arrivederci there, my friend. And they will push for this right Phoenix to try and end the game. They will start it up. It looks like West Georgia is going for that final, you know, fight to try and end things and try and find a way back in, but it won't really matter. There goes another 2 kills to Georgia State. That's 3 down for West Georgia. They're going to go for the Phoenix. They're going to end it the right way as a double kill goes over to Don Gavis to execute. Really find another one. Can he find Fohawk? The Aegis is there protecting him, but can he finish it off? No. It looks like Fohawk was able to get back to the fountain before Thanatos could end his life. They're going to rotate over, and I believe they're just going to finish and take the Phoenixes and do this the conservative, proper way.
Yeah, you see the waves pushed up. Just take all the Phoenixes, get fire minions. The Titan's going to be losing damage and health for every Phoenix that is dead. So you will just be able, you don't even have to do as much damage to end the game.
And I mean, it's a good sign for a Georgia State team that looking to compete in other tournaments moving forward are learning to respect their opponents now, because you're going to face teams that are much more difficult than this, where if you make a wrong move trying to push for the Titan like they did before and die, then
they will just punish you.
Yeah, they will punish you and flip the game on its head. But it's 35-9 right now. Thanatos goes back up into the air. He finds the execute again. It looks like it's going to be almost full wipe here as 3 members go down for West Georgia. This will be that left Phoenix finally falling. They're going to finally push for the end of the game.
And that's going to be it. You see, one more kill on Yogi,
They're
and that's the DS side, and the Titan is done. A surrender vote started.
Yeah, the thirst there, but they do get it. Surrender vote has been started. Let's see if they can get it before they finish the Titan, but I don't think so. That'll be game. Georgia State will be your Gel State champions for Smite. Congratulations, Georgia State Panthers.